Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Electrical Concepts. My name is Avigyan Roy. So in this video lecture we are going to discuss the parameter design of a boost converter. So in my previous video lecture I have discussed about the parameter design of a buck converter. Okay, so this time it is boost converter. Okay, so let's start. So as you can see, this is the circuit diagram of a boost converter, and this is a load that is connected across it. It can be anything R, RL or RLE type of load. Alright. And as you all know, boost converter is a step up DC-DC converter. That means it steps up the output voltage. Alright. And this is the expression of average output voltage of a boost converter. VOO is equal to Vs by 1 minus D, where D is the duty ratio and Vs is the input voltage. Okay. And VO is nothing but the average value of output voltage. Okay. Now here also there are two formulas. These are very well known. You must have studied this before. So L and C can be designed using equation number 2 and equation number 3. Okay. So these are the specifications. Okay. D is the duty ratio. FSW is the switching frequency of the switch that you are using in this boost converter. Del Vc is the capacitor voltage ripple. It is also same as the output voltage ripple, because capacitor and the load both are connected in parallel. Del IL is the inductor current ripple. Okay, inductor current means this one. Okay, so by using these two formula we can actually find L and C. Okay, so now let's understand this with an example. See here, suppose this is your requirement. Okay, based upon this you need to design your boost converter. Suppose your load has a rated output voltage of 10 volts and rated load current of 2 ampere, and these all are the average values, but it may change. Sometimes maybe the output voltage is 9 volts or sometimes it is 11 volts. Similarly, the load current may be 1 ampere or 3 ampere. It may change, but whatever value I am considering, those all will be the average value. Just remember this. Okay, so now based upon these two value you have to design your boost converter. So the first step of design is consider the maximum duty ratio. Okay, so this is very important point. Okay, so, if you have watched my previous video on designing buck converter, there I have told you that consider a duty ratio of 0.5 while designing. Okay, and there was an advantage behind this. Okay, and similarly here also you should always choose the duty ratio to be the maximum value. And one more thing I actually forgot to mention. See here, as you can see, D, if your duty ratio is 1 or it tends to 1, your output voltage will be theoretically infinite or it will be very high, which is not at all practical. Okay, so this is the limitation of a boost converter, that your duty ratio cannot be 1 or it cannot go near to 1. Okay, so there must always be a maximum limit. Okay, it is like maybe 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, but it cannot go towards 1. Okay, so always remember, in boost converter you have to set a maximum limit of duty ratio which is always lesser than 1. I have chosen the maximum duty is 0.8. Okay, that means the duty ratio cannot go beyond 0.8. Okay, and while designing you should also consider this value. Although you can choose any value between 0 and 0.8, you can choose 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, anything, but if you choose your duty ratio to be 0.8 while designing, you will get an advantage. Okay, that I will discuss later. Okay, and this is not hard and fast, you can choose anything. This is just my opinion to always consider the maximum value while designing. Alright, so suppose it is 0.8. So accordingly your input voltage will be 2 volts. Okay, if you calculate using the equation number 1, you will get the input voltage to be 2 volts. That means if your input is 2 volt and you set your duty ratio at 0.8, you will get the output voltage to be 10 volt. Alright. Again, assume the switching frequency to be 2 kilohertz based upon your application. Okay, you can choose any switching frequency. Next is similar like buck converter. Here also you have to assume your capacitor voltage ripple to be suppose 100 millivolt. Okay, so see, the next point is here the relation between IL and I naught is like this. IL is equal to I naught by 1 minus D. Okay, so IL is the inductor current and I naught is the output current or the load current. Okay, and these all are actually the average values. So if you calculate, you will get 10 ampere to be your inductor current. Okay, and again assume your inductor current will be 10%, which comes 1 ampere. All right. So now you got all the values, and if you put these values on these equations, you will get L and you will get C. Okay. So here I have calculated, you will get these two values, L to be 0.8 millihenry and C to be 8000 microfarad. Okay. So now, as I have told you to consider the maximum duty ratio while designing, now I will tell you the reason behind this. Although you can choose any value between 0 and 0.8, but why the maximum? See, okay, here I have also written these values. Okay, see the point, if the maximum value of D is assumed, ripples for other duty ratios will be lesser than the predefined values. Okay, so what is the advantage is, if you choose the maximum value of duty ratio, see in this equation or in this equation, once your L and C are determined, you put these values. Okay, so suppose in this equation your L is fixed, now switching frequency is fixed, your supply voltage is fixed, the only two variables are your duty ratio D in the numerator and del IL in the denominator, and as you can see they are directly proportional to each other when rest are constant. That means if you already choose a maximum value of duty ratio, the ripple which you are going to get, that ripple will also be maximum in nature. Similarly, in this equation also, if you choose the maximum duty ratio, the capacitor voltage ripple will also be the maximum. Okay, that means these two values are the maximum values of ripples. Okay, actually this is same as the buck converter also, but in buck converter also you got the same advantage while choosing your duty ratio to be 0.5, but here for getting the same advantage you just have to choose the duty ratio to be the maximum one. So 100 millivolt and 1 ampere are the maximum capacitor voltage ripple and maximum inductor current ripple. So what is the advantage? Advantage is these two values are the maximum values and you have already got these values. Okay, and you have assumed these values. So from now on, while doing the operation, whatever ripples that you are going to get for other duty ratios, okay, other duty ratio means other than 0.8, other ripples for other duty ratios will always be lesser than these two values. This is the advantage. That means you have set the maximum limit of ripples. The ripples cannot go beyond this. Okay, so this is the advantage, and this is same as the buck converter. In buck converter also you got the same advantage, right? If you remember that there, by choosing D to be 0.5, you got the same advantage, but here the same advantage you will get, but in that case you have to choose the maximum value of duty ratio. Okay, so and again I am saying there is no hard and fast rule. You can choose any value of duty ratio for designing. These all things I have done during my post graduation time while I was doing my research work. So there I came to know all these things. Okay, but these things you will not get in any book. Okay, you can choose any duty ratio for designing, but if you choose the maximum, you will get this advantage. Okay, that's it. And yes, last thing, here as you can see the inductor value is 0.8 millihenry and C is 8000 microfarad. So maybe in market these values may not be available. Okay, suppose 0.8 millihenry is not available in market, so then you have to choose the nearest value which is also higher than this. Suppose in market 0.5 millihenry is available and also 1 millihenry is available, so you should go for 1 millihenry. Okay, because you if you choose 0.5 millihenry, then the ripple will be higher than the expected one. So you always should choose the value which is nearest to this value and also higher than this. So 1 millihenry will be the better option. Okay, so these small modifications or manipulations will always be there in practical scenario, but those things are not an issue. But yes, this is the basic fundamental of how to design a boost converter. I hope you have got a clear idea now how to design it. Okay, and if you have liked this video, please share this, comment, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. In next video lecture, I will come up with some more interesting concepts of electrical engineering. Thanks for watching, and yes, goodbye.